I'm Alicia, and today I'm talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling and the other two people that wrote it, John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. Okay, so if you haven't read this, don't watch this because you do not want to be spoiled. This book was just as wonderful as I anticipated. I got it the day it came out. It was so good. If you haven't read it and you've read the other books, go get this. It will stir up so many emotions, and that's all I'm gonna say if you haven't read it. So if you have not read it, goodbye, and if you have, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I was so happy reading this, like every single new character and so many of the lines that they say, my heart was just so happy. I love this book. I want another one. I need more. I want more. So the first thing, I really wasn't expecting the whole plot of this book before I read it. I had no idea what to expect when I was reading it, and I was just like mind blown over this whole plot that they put. And going back in time to Harry's 4th year, like his son goes back with the time turner and wants to stop Cedric Diggory's death because too many people have died for the boy who lived. They never actually do save Cedric, except for that one alternate reality where he becomes a Death Eater, which again, I never saw coming. I love this book. It was so surprising. I love Draco in the series, although he was like a bad character. I loved him even more in this because now that he's all grown up and he's actually become a better man and he's standing up to his father, and I feel so bad for him because his wife died and now Scorpius and him don't really have the closest relationship. But I just love Scorpius and I love Draco, and Draco was actually talking to Harry and acknowledging him as an equal, as a friend, and it just warmed my heart a little to see them talking like that because they never did in the series, really, and it was so good. I knew Albus and Scorpius were gonna be like best friends right away. They were BFFs. It was really cool. I have to say, I was feeling a little bit of bromance vibes a few points in this play, but I don't know. I like them. Either way, after this book ends, I would like them either together or as best friends only. Like, either way, they're just so cute. Their relationship is just, it was so empowering to read. Like, I want a friend like that. There's a lot of conflict between Albus and Harry. Albus is kind of stuck in this position where his dad is Harry Potter, and he's expected to be a Gryffindor and to be great like his dad was and to save the world, and he feels like he's obligated to, you know, fill in these shoes and be the kind of man that everyone expects him to be, his father expects him to be. I feel like it's really relatable for a lot of people. I for sure know what it is to be under that kind of pressure, to have people expecting something of you, and you know, at this age, you're just trying to figure out what to do with your life, what you want to do with your life, and you have to realize that you can't, and it was addressed in this book, that you can't do stuff to make other people happy. Sometimes you have to put yourself first and do what you want to do, because you're the one that has to live with these choices. It's you who's gonna have to live the rest of your life with the choices you made, so you might as well do what makes you happy. And you know what, if the people around you really love you, then they'll accept these choices because it's what you want and they want you to be happy. So there was a lot of that in this book where Harry and Albus really weren't on the same page. Albus felt really pressured. He was really angry at his dad for really not understanding that he didn't want to be a Gryffindor and didn't want to do everything that his dad did. He didn't have a lot of friends, and he felt like his dad was just pushing him in one direction. He didn't want to go. In the end, they really have this conversation where Harry's like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a Slytherin and you only have one friend who's Draco Malfoy's son. I love you and I support you in whatever you want to do. I just loved it so much that they were able to sort it all out, and gives me hope for my future too. The one funny thing, instead of saying like thank God, they say thank Dumbledore. Like, Dumbledore has replaced God. Like, I don't know. Thank Dumbledore. The one thing that also made me really happy in this book that was also with Dumbledore was kind of when Harry gets mad at him, at Dumbledore, for kind of abandoning him at the Dursley step when he was a little kid. He gets mad and says, you know, what kind of dad were you, Dumbledore? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you left me with these awful people and you knew I was suffering and you didn't help me. Don't get me wrong, I love Dumbledore, but definitely reading the 7th book, I remember feeling so mad. I was so mad at Dumbledore because he knew all along that Harry had to die and he didn't tell Harry, and he was basically just taking care of him so that he could die at the right moment. And I was just suddenly so mad at Dumbledore. He had this whole hidden past, and so, like, he knew so much, and he didn't let on to any of it. He didn't let Harry know, he didn't let anyone else know. and you learn that he really was kind of a selfish man. So I was just really, really happy when we had that moment in this book where Harry actually does get mad at Dumbledore, because he has a right to be mad about some stuff that Dumbledore did to him. Even though Dumbledore was a great guy and we all love him, and his death was so painful to read and to watch on screen, I was mad at him, and I'm so glad that this book addressed that. The last thing I want to mention, the plot turns in this book. First we have Cedric being a Death Eater. Just no. No, 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 no. Like, I didn't see that coming. I don't know where they even pulled that from. And then we have Elfie, who is Amos Diggory's niece, but it isn't actually his niece, and it's Voldemort's daughter. I was expecting to go back in time, we had to defeat Voldemort again or whatever, but his daughter, it shocked me. I loved it. And at the end, when Harry is pretending to be Voldemort, I'm just picturing that conversation. It would be hilarious. Like, I just want to watch the play, or like a movie of this play, because it would be so funny to watch this. Delphi just walks up to Voldemort and she's like, "Hey, I'm your daughter." And Harry, "I never had any kids. Prove that you're mine." It was so funny. I just like burst out laughing. I was just picturing like Harry throwing this cloak over his head, like trying to get away from her, even though I know that's not exactly what happened. It's kind of what I was picturing. I really want to see the play. I really, really do. Or like a movie of the play. I could use another movie. Voldemort and Bellatrix. I never saw that coming, even though it makes a lot of sense, but it's what? Because Bellatrix dies in the 7th book. I didn't really expect Voldemort to have had a kid before that point, because we never even hear of her, but apparently she did, and she was raised by Death Eaters, and all she wants is her dad back. She doesn't care about evil and, you know, restoring his dark whatever. That might come later, but all she wants is to go back and have her dad for herself, because she grew up without one. I think that's very dark and disturbing, but very sweet at the same time. That's all I had for this play, script, book thing. I loved every second of it. I wish it was like 1,000 pages longer, because I could really use more. I was so sad when the series ended. And when this came out, I was just like, oh, it was so heartwarming. I loved the entire thing. I was so happy that we got to see Ron and Harry and Hermione and Draco later on in life, like how they're doing as parents. And Harry, although he has a lot of learning to do, he's getting a little better at it. He's not as good a parent as I would have expected. I don't know, he just had a very, very very tense relationship with Albus, and I didn't expect that, and it was so awesome to read about. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!